How to beat the Matrix.
What the hell? On one rabbit. It was you on my computer. How did you do that?
Right now, all I can tell you is that you're in danger. I brought you here to warn you.
What?
They're watching you, Leo.
Who is?
Please just listen. I know why you're here, Neo. I know what you've been doing. I know why you hardly sleep, why you live alone, and why night after night you sit at your computer. You're looking for him. I know because I was once looking for the same thing. And when he found me, he told me I wasn't really looking for him. I was looking for an answer. It's the question that drives us, Neo. It's the question that brought you here. You know the question, just as I did.
What is the Matrix?
The answer is out there, Neo. It's looking for you. And it will find you, if you want it to.
So one thing about life that I feel like we don't discuss enough is freedom and what it actually means to be free. And that's just something that I want to highlight before I start this video off. I want you to ask yourself, what is freedom? What does that actually look like to you? Is it financial? Is it physical? Is it mental and emotional? But I want you to identify what that freedom looks like for you, because this will be a catalyst for you as you go throughout every segment of this video. Once you understand what the Matrix is, how to actually become the main character, and ultimately how to beat the Matrix. So that's what today's video is about, is how to beat the Matrix. First and foremost, what is the Matrix?
The Matrix is a computer-generated dream world built to keep us under control in order to change a human being into this.
No. I don't believe it. It's not possible.
I didn't say it would be easy, Neo. I just said it would be the truth.
Stop. Let me out. Let me out. I want out.
Now, there's many definitions on what the actual Matrix is, but my own personal perspective of what the Matrix is a system designed to make you a source of energy. So you cannot properly live in your authentic purpose. You cannot create. You will spend the majority of your life working and surviving. So honestly, I feel like that's what the Matrix is. There are other different variations of what a matrix really could be, but I feel like ultimately what we're in is a system, and that's from economics, that's to education, that's to our judicial system. It's all designed to keep us in control and in place. So there are ways that we can take control of our own reality, but you need the keys to your own vehicle first and foremost. Before we do that, we need to identify what is it that we want out of the Matrix. What is your intention right now? Ask yourself, what are you working for right now? Are you working for your family? Are you working for your own goals, your own accolades? What are you striving for? And I think that that's really important, is what is the end goal? What is the fulfillment that you're seeking in the Matrix right now? This is going to help give you so much clarity and direction, alongside with the core values that I've been stressing over all of my videos. Once you're able to identify what you want out of the Matrix, then you can move with precision. Now, there are three things that every person wants out of the Matrix, whether they like to admit it or not. One being money. Money we need to survive. No, money is not the root of all evil. And I'm going to correct you all right now. It says, even in the Bible, for the love of money is the root of all evil. So we cannot love money more than we love our purpose or anything, that brings us value. So essentially, we want to acquire some money so we can beat the Matrix, because you need some coins. Two, influence. A lot of people don't acknowledge that they want some form of influence. And the reason being is because who doesn't want to be remembered? Who doesn't want to be respected in some form or way for what it is that they offer and bring to the world? So some people want influence. That influence can really shape a lot of different things in our world. We see the power of influence in politics, sports, marketing. So influence is essential even in creating income or money for yourself. Third is power. A lot of people don't like to admit that they want power because they believe that power is associated with being a tyrant or being evil. But in actuality, it's not. Power is you being put in a position to make wise decisions, meaning that you're a person who obviously has a track record of making wise decisions. So these three things are essentially what most people want in a matrix. You want money to be able to survive. You want money to be able to live a life that is fit for your lifestyle, that gives you freedom, that allows you to enjoy life. You want influence to be able to inspire other people. You want to be able to persuade or convince people that you are obviously doing something right in life. And then last but not least, you want power. You want to be able to call your own shots. You want to be able to make your own schedule. You want to be able to live life on your own terms at some point, whether that's in retirement or whether that's now. So these are three things that we possibly want from the Matrix, whether we are aware or not. And lastly, what's the point of beating the Matrix? Why do I want to beat the Matrix anyway? Why should I even watch this video if I'm somebody who doesn't want to beat the Matrix? Because at some point in one of your incarnations throughout this experience in life, you will want to beat the Matrix. So hopefully this video resonates in your conscious in the next lifetime, who knows? But you want to beat the Matrix because essentially in real life, you want to retire. You want comfort. You want fulfillment. You want to be able to, look back on your life and say, I'm proud of everything that I achieved. So when it really comes down to beating the Matrix is not living on a remote island by yourself. Beating the Matrix is living life on your own terms. Beating the Matrix is having an exit strategy for what it is that you're currently doing right now to align with what you're actually called to do in life. That's really what it is to beat the Matrix.
Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
The Saturn Matrix explained. All right, so what is the Saturn Matrix? So there's a theory that we are in what is called a Saturn Matrix, meaning that we are actually controlled by the planet Saturn and its rings. The rings of Saturn actually are a disk that influence how we live our life. And some of the aspects that it influence is time, karma, debt, money, and things of that nature. Now, Saturn in certain spiritual traditions is known as Satan. It's known as the bringer of karma. And the reason why we want to understand what the Saturn Matrix is because this is the energy that is binding us to what we're in right now from a physical and from a spiritual. And what do I mean by that? Some examples is when you look at our judicial system in the United States, the judges wear black, police officers wear navy blue. All of these things are correspondence to Saturn. When you deal with time, the way that our clocks are set up, the calendar systems, all of these things are correspondent to Saturn. So essentially, we need to understand what Saturn is if we want to beat the Matrix. And I think that this is pretty evident even when you look at the game that came out in the early 90s. It was a game that I actually had as a kid. It was called a Sega Saturn. And I thought that it was pretty cool at the time. It was a game that could actually play CDs. It was one of the first games, even before PlayStations that could actually play CD video games. So when it comes to Saturn obviously has us on some type of time restraint. And whether we're aware of it or whether we're not, it's governing the way that we are indulgent in this reality. So that's really what the Saturn matrix is. So essentially we have to become the main character. This is the whole key. This is why you ascended or descended down to this planet. You descended to this planet to become the main character. However, the problem is most people aren't becoming the main character. They're choosing to become a CPU. And the problem with that is that most people are just duplicating what the next person is doing and not actually tapping into their potential, their powers. And when this happens, you just have to continue to repeat until you actually get it right. Becoming the main character really involves you knowing yourself. This is something that I teach in my Conscious Creator Academy. This is something that I have been sharing also on this channel, and I plan to do more in the future. But you need to become the main character and know yourself, because it starts with you, the core. And think of it this way. You being the core, or the dot that expands into the molecule or the ethos of whatever it is that you want to become. And it starts from the center. It doesn't start from above. It doesn't start from below. It starts from the center, and then it expands outward. So I think that this is something that we don't sometimes grasp with anything that we're starting out, is that everything starts from the seed and then it sprouts out into what it's destined to become. So that's how we have to look at becoming the main character, starting with the core, starting with the things that's been holding us back, whether that be emotional, physical, or mental, and really just being able to do the work. Because through becoming the main character, that's really just doing the self work. You're doing the self introspection, and you're not even foraging, but you're extracting who you authentically are. And that's something that the CPUs can't duplicate. And this is what makes you the main character. Now, what are some ways that you can discover becoming the main character or discovering more knowledge itself? I've talked about this in previous videos. One being astrology, knowing your natal chart. If you're not into astrology, I highly recommend you at least dabble with astrology. If you want to know more about astrology, comment astrology on this video, and I'll probably upload way more videos in regards to astrology, because I do feel as though there is a lack of esoteric understanding when it comes to astrology. But first, you need to understand and dissect your natal chart. Two, you need to get more into numerology. Numerology is going to help you understand the path that you're destined to traverse. Your life path is essential to the skill sets that you already have, the favor that you already have, and the affinity that people are naturally going to have towards you when you present yourself to the world. And then also becoming the main character is really just living a life of action and faith. I think a lot of people think that you can knowledge and wisdom your way to becoming the main character. That's probably about 30% of becoming the main character. But the other 70% of becoming the main character is actually being in action and taking leaps of faith. And I don't really see that a lot in our spiritual society today. A lot of people talk the talk, but they don't actually walk the walk. Next, you need to build your aura. Now, aura has been floating around a lot on the internet, and I'm quite convinced that a lot of people don't really know what aura is, but aura is really just your magnetic field. Aura is the 9 layers that you have that's already surrounding you. They're etheric, they're astral, and you can strengthen your aura through your lifestyle, through your habits. Some ways that you can do this is through eating a more clean diet, meditating, and just really just taking care of your mind, body, and spirit holistically. This is the best way to honestly raise your vibration on a daily basis, but this strengthens your aura. This is what makes people more gravitated towards your energy, is when you start to build your aura. Now, aura to me is powerful when you are becoming the main character, because I feel like there's so many main characters that got aura. When you think about Sonic, when you think about Pac-Man, they had to collect the coins. Pac-Man had to collect, his cherries or whatever Pac-Man had to catch. I don't know. Sonic had to collect the coins. So what I'm saying is that you have to collect your coins. You have to build your aura. You need to start building up your energy. And that was the last video. If you didn't get a chance to watch the last video, raising your vibration, that's so essential when it comes to beating the matrix, because if you don't level up, then you're always going to be getting knocked down to the previous level, and you're going to have to keep starting over and building up that energy and that aura over and over and over. So it's best for you to just go Super Saiyan and remain Super Saiyan so you can beat Frieza. So this is really the blueprint. Next, you need to take control of your free will. At the end of the day, so many people complain about their life, but they don't realize you are in control of the will. You have the keys, but it's up to you to ignite what it is that you want. It's up to you to traverse the road, the life that's already destined for you. So this is what I don't see people. It's just really understanding that you are in control. You have the controller, and it's up to you to make the decisions on, whether or not you beat this game or not.
This isn't real. What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain. This is the world that you know. The world as it was at the end of the 20th century. It exists now only as part of a neural interactive simulation that we call the Matrix. You've been living in a dream world, Neo. This is the world as it exists today.
And last but not least, you need to set the stage. You need to know what it is that you want out of life. So once you set the stage, you already know, hey, this is what I want out of life, and this is what I need to align myself with to get it. So I feel like that's the main objective in any level of life, is figuring out, okay, how can I get what I want out of this level and then get to the next level, because the next level is obviously going to be more difficult. Get in the game, learn quickly, fail fast. Now, you need to fail fast. And the reason being is because in the world of business, marketing, and offering service or products to people, we live in a microwave society. So the faster that you can get content out, the faster you can get ideas out, information, the more people have to work with and can consume. So don't ever think that you're putting out too much content. I tell people this all the time. Don't think that you're doing too much of anything, because more is better. The more you have to work with, the more that you can trim and actually shape what it is that, you see fit. But the sooner that you start to fail, the more wisdom and experience that you have. And that was something that I heard recently in a podcast, was Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett made so many mistakes early on in his investing career that by the time he got 20 years in, he was so trusted because he made so many mistakes. So oftentimes, a lot of people try to tell you about something that they haven't even experienced or done themselves. And this is why I say you have to get in the game. You have to play. You can't be on the sideline trying to tell somebody else how to play the game. And this is what I feel is so evident in the spiritual community. So many guys, so many life coaches, so many spiritual so-and-sos, gurus, but they're not in the game. They're not playing. They're behind a cubicle telling you what you need to be doing. And this is like the wrong advice. Don't listen to them. Get in the game. Next, we need to get our reps in. You ever played a game and then it's like the more and more that you've played the game, the better that you've gotten at that game? That's life. The more that you play the game of life, the better that you get. But if you're not even playing the game, you can't get better. So this is why I say faith is a muscle. You have to exercise faith, because faith is what you step out into the world with. Faith is us testing our spiritual skills, our gifts, our faith, our certainty, our confidence. This is honestly what spirituality is. It's the ability to really be authentically you. It's not being somebody else. It's being you. So the only way that we can be comfortable with being us is by getting our reps in. So every single day we have to practice living and becoming our highest and best self.
You think that's air you're breathing now? You're faster than this. Don't think you are. Know you are.
Come on, stop trying to hit me and hit me!
I know what you're trying to do.
I'm trying to free your mind, Neo, but I can only show you the door.
level up. Now, a lot of people are scared to level up. And the reason being is because new levels, new devils. The higher that you go, the more that you have to deal with, the different types of people that you have to deal with. And this is why I feel like spirituality is so important. Cultivating your spirituality, knowing yourself at a core, sharpening your intuition, because you're going to need discernment the higher you go. There's going to be more and more people that want to attach themselves or associate themselves with you. But the key is having discernment. And I feel like this is the essence of what spirituality is. Spirituality is the ability to discern spirits. So you have to continue to level up in your spirituality, your discernment, your intuition, your faith. All of these things are going to play a factor because these are things that you can't necessarily see. You just have to believe in them. Use cheat codes. Now, I have a philosophy. I feel as though every avatar from Buddha to Muhammad to Jesus to whoever you want to name, they all left cheat codes. And if you're a 90s kid like me, you remember the Game Informer. Now, we used to go to GameStop and buy the Game Informer when we wanted to actually use the cheat codes to acquire more tools or beat the game, etc. It's the same thing with life. The internet is filled with so many more advanced players, people who are further along the path than you are. So you have to start looking at the wisdom, advice, and information that they're sharing as cheat codes and not as some form of competition or as an assault on your ego. And I think that that's what hinders a lot of people from beating the game of life, is not wanting to use cheat codes. Cheat codes are everywhere because we're all players in the game at some point if you choose to play the game. So I feel like when we look at even the Bible and most ancient books, I feel like these are game informers that are left behind for us to use. The Bible is an acronym that some people call basic instructions before leaving Earth. And honestly, the more that I do read the Bible, I do see the wisdom. I do see the cheat codes to beating the matrix. So I feel as though we have to start being more open to people who have wisdom, knowledge, and information or insight / perspectives that may be foreign to us. Unlock new levels. Now, I think that this is the exciting part, is when you finally get off the stage that you set for yourself. All of the things that you just saw for yourself, you finally achieved them, you conquered them, you fulfilled them. But now it's time to step up to new levels. And this is where things get more complex, more difficult. But the key is we have to always be striving for new levels, because our reality and our galaxy in itself is endless. It's so many possibilities. So we're never going to get bored with life. We're never going to not have something to strive towards. So I think essentially we always have to have our mind set on what's next, even after we have that moment of fulfillment from achieving the thing that we wanted in that previous time. So I think that that's really essential, is the more and more that you continue to progress, never forget that you don't know everything. Never forget that there's always new levels and new information, that you can acquire that can help you go even higher, that can help you, just be better and just beat the matrix overall at ease. And last but not least, you need to beat the game. Now, a lot of times we don't beat the games. I've played plenty of games in life that I haven't beat. I've given up. I've quit. And I think that a lot of people do this in life. Some people give up on life. Some people quit. Some people commit suicide. Some people just go conform to mediocrity. So there's a lot of ways that a person can quit the game opposed to actually beating the game. And beating the game is really just finding the fulfillment, whether that be retirement, whether that be teaching, however that looks. Just have that in or that exit strategy in mind. What does beating the game actually look like for you? Now, that's different for everybody, and I don't want to make my own version of beating the game your version. So I think that, essentially you have to figure out what it is that you want out of the matrix. Is it power? Is it influence? Is it money? Do you really want to beat the matrix? Do you want to be the main character? Do you want to be a CPU? These are like all questions that we just really need to ask ourselves. I'm not trying to make this video more deeper than what it really needs to be. I really just want to make it clean cut. Life is a game. You either are in the game or you're watching. And I feel like your life is going to be really reflective of that. You don't really have to, wonder if you are in the game or if you are watching. I think it's pretty evident through your life if you are. So that's pretty much today's video, how to beat the Matrix, y'all. It's not as difficult as people make it out to be. But if you still need some cheat codes, I got you. I'm offering a lot of different services, from karmic reading accounts to life transformation to purposeful living. And the reason why I created these services is to be able to give you all something one-on-one. I do have a few personal products that's on my Gumroad. However, I like to be able to connect with you all directly and one-on-one, so we all can gain a closer relationship and understanding of what it is that you want out of these services. So if that's something that you're interested in, the link is in the bio. And until the next time, y'all, wholeness.
You have to let it all go, yo. Fear, doubt, disbelief. Free your mind.
Right. No problem. Free my mind. Free my mind. No problem. Right.
Your mind makes it real.
If you're killed in the Matrix, you die here.
The body cannot live without the